Burrito, I don't want you sniffing my butt anymore either. It's getting weird. Don't show me yours. Thank you. You've got to be professional here. Jeez. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to Season 2 of Hardcore Minecraft with me, Doom Mountain, and our beloved friend, Mr. Burrito over there in the background. Oh, it's so good to be back around in this world. I've got to admit, now I've started up the new, just sort of general Let's Play survival world. It's been a lot of fun. It's given me a lot of chance to actually get some content done with that series and get some stuff worked on over here. So do not fear, this hardcore world is not going anywhere until the very sad day where we die. But we don't need to think about that right now. So last time we finished up getting all of the oak section of our tree nursery all nice and completed up. The previous part of that was on a live stream. We went and did some pathing and everything. Now I haven't done any live streams since this episode, not because I didn't get a chance to, but just because I kind of got distracted and was working on the world on my own. So let's go and see what has popped up in this world since last time. Now, very noticeably, I've done the birch section. So I've gone around, I've put in all the fences and the wallings for each of the tree type colours, and you'll be able to see it as we go around. But I also just decided to jump in and do the birch foresty section of it, and I'm really happy with how this came up. So as you can see, a lot of the birch ones, they've got fallen over trees, and because unlike, I'm about to tell them, Burrito, geez, just let me speak. Unlike in our oak section where we could have the moss grow out very spread throughout the grass to help give us a bit of that different shading between the the tree coverage, I decided for this one, the birch forests don't generally have a lot of that moss in there. What they do have though is some of the moss that's grown on some of these fallen trees. They also have mushrooms, but mushrooms require set light levels. That's a pain. I wasn't going to work with it. That was it. So as you can tell from this one over here and the one that we've got further off over there, I decided to add in the moss carpets on top of some of these logs and replace some of the logs with the moss blocks to show that the moss is really starting to take home over this fallen tree, which allowed me then to sneak around some of these extra ones, which kind of is how we're getting in our hidden lighting. But other than that, this whole birch section wasn't that big to start off with, so I was able to cover up a lot of it with these fences and the lanterns. Yes, hello Bluey, how's it going? You got anything to say to the people for today? Creepers. Okay, I'm going to leave you alone, you're having a moment. As you can see, we've got that pathway to go down to this part of it, as well as a little section just leading up there, and I think this has really tied this whole section together nicely, so I'm really happy with it. I think it looks good. As you can see, we've got some bees around here because of all the flowers, and I mean, come on, birch forests, you generally think of something with flowers and bees. Or at least I do anyway. Alright, so with that little bit of a tour done for this birch section, which I got completed up between episodes, I'd like to just show you off now that, we did continue it on up to this part, which was that no man's deemed area. But I'm not going to lie, these 3 trees might be just the easiest ones to harvest from there without having to worry about bees getting in the way of my axe swings, so it works out pretty well to have this as this section. Then, as you can see, we've gone around continuing our path, putting in these lovely just sort of normal fences depending on what tree will be grown in this biome, and all of our walls, and just sort of stretched it around all the places up here. So we've got for our acacia, and we've got for just down here our lovely pink fences to go with the cherry blossoms. Yeah, the cherry wood trees. Man, I've been so used to saying cherry wood isles that I almost went straight into that. No, this is just a tree, this isn't the island. So I also managed to find a little bit more spare time now with this new world coming in, and it's been so great to actually have. I've gotten in these paths now, so now we actually lead up to where I want our bridge to be built, and hopefully this episode we're going to be tackling that and connect this section over to where our mangrove trees will be grown. We've also now, with our path divided off, where the jungle, the dark oak, and the spruce trees will be grown, as well as leading off down to where our storage house area will be. I've still just got to work out the design for it, and I kind of just want to finish up all the trees and then do this part last. Alright, so just before it gets too dark and the sun fully settles, I can hear Burrito already trying to warn me. You can see that I've led this path down all the way to here, where I'm wanting to put in our divider that sort of separates the tree nursery from the depths of the jungle. Now, I've spoken before about wanting to flood this area through here to make it sort of represent the backwash of all the waves crashing in and divide it that way. And then in doing so, I'm going to probably want to put a bit of a bridge that sort of stretches over and goes into the jungle, where we can continue on our pathing over to where that jungle temple thingy is over there that we found some stuff, and eventually probably wrap up to where that flat land over there is where we're working. So this is what's been going on in between episodes. Now let me sleep before something spooky comes out of the jungle and I regret it. So back in the morning. Alright, so today's plan for this episode is I want to finish up filling up the acacia section here. I want to enclose those vines, or at least one of these has to survive to sort of show us the glitch block. I just kind of really want it for the area. So we want to get that done. We want to get over our cherry wood section there. And I would really like to start on the bridge. So this is what I want to get done for this episode. I think it is a little bit, however though, I don't feel any more the rush to try and get a hardcore episode out every week or every 2 weeks, because yeah, I know I keep saying it a lot, but the Let's Play allows me to try and get an episode out each week from that. So here, I think we might be able to achieve a little bit more progress, so that's going to be great. But before we start all of this stuff for today, there's a few things that I want to get done first. And by a few things, I mean, I really want to go around and name, our mobs that we've got around here. So like Coco, Evil Panda, we've got Fluffy Boulder, we got Fredo, all these mobs I want to go get name tags for and get them named up first. So yeah, let's install a name tag naming montage. I don't know. See if you can make that work, editing Mountain. So I hope Editing Mountain actually did a decent job of that naming montage. I said hope, I don't know how it's going to turn out. But anyway, let's go and welcome our new, mobs around here. So as you can see, we've got Pops here, who was our second brown panda that we found. Our first one, obviously over there, going by Coco. So, we've got Coco and Pops. Yes, it's a bad pun, but it's my pun. And I think it's very funny. So we have Coco over here. We have Evil Panda over here. We've also got, just down here, we have Fluffy Boulder. Now, Fluffy Boulder was he appeared in a photo with Burrito over on my Instagram and was named by one of the lovely people over there, Zaya. I'm sorry if I've butchered your name, but thank you so much for naming our panda. Yes, even Fluffy Boulder is very, very grateful, so thank you. Cutie. So, cute pandas aside, there was still one other, the key culprit around here. Where did he go? Okay, our other friend is Fredo, our long-term resident frog that has been chilling around here. Where are you? You're never where I want you to be when I'm looking for you. And then the second that I don't want you, you were right there. I know, I stuffed up my wording then. Where the hell did that frog go? Coco, have you seen Fredo? I've got no clue where he went. He was... Oh, there you are! Hello, Fredo. How's it going, mate? So, as you can see, we've got our other friend, Fredo, over here, who has had an amazing life story. We're not going to get into it right now, but he's been living his best life. Oh, did you just see that? He told Coco off for pointing me in the direction. Don't get snippy with Coco. I was worried about you. These mobs really have some attitude. Alright, so now that we've done the fun stuff of naming our mobs, let's get to work. So the first thing that I want to do is we've got to encapsulate one of these. As I said, I think this is going to be our best one, because once we start placing acacia trees around here, if any of them grow too close, it could pop it right off and break the entire structure. Now, we can't update the block it's on or the blocks that are around it. So my thinking is that whatever it is it's going to have to be coming around here. Now, I don't know, what side is this on? Okay, it's on this one. So I don't think I can update that one. So it's got to go around like this. Might look a little bit weird, but I think as long as it has that 3x3 center, we should be okay. Okay, so now stop showing me your bum. Bro, get in a shot, that's fine. Hello, no, I don't want you to look at mine. Damn pandas, I'll go over here. Alright, so this is the area that we need to then build something up from. And I was thinking we could try and do a glass jar. So maybe put in some lights or something at the bottom there, where I've just dug out that dirt, and then just do a nice standard pillaring up with glass. The corners we could probably do as glass panes, so that way it looks like it's a little bit rounded. I counted it out, so the vine goes up 4, so we at least need to go up 4, it goes up 7. So I think we at least need to go up 8, probably 9, just to be on the safe side. So maybe if we can build up a little bit of a jar, that might be the way to go. Okay, so I'm going to try and see if I can get that done, maybe even save these ones, but as we can see, the spacing that we needed just to protect this one is really going to start cutting into our path if we try and do the 2. So, as cool as it would be to maybe have the 3, I just want one. I really just want one to survive. So, as long as we can do that, I think we're on to a winner. So, yeah, let me just quickly see if I can contain this vine glitchiness in some way, and then we shall return. Also, just before we head off, going around now naming all these mobs, a lot of them were named by, viewers, people on Instagram that just sort of see these mobs and throw out some names or anything. So if you guys have any idea for any names of mobs that you see in the world appearing up, it could even be like that bee there behind me, please put it in the comment section and we shall name your mob. I'm not naming a wither or a warden. I'm just putting that out there right now. Okay, now we shall return. Okay, so don't laugh, and please remember, we're going to have to use our imagination just a little bit, but I think that's kind of a jar with a bit of a lid on it, containing our sacred glitch vine. Okay, it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, but it has its shape. Let's go over and have a bit of a look. So, as you can see, I've tried using the pane glasses to help as rounding blocks and then the full ones. So, obviously when you come up close, you kind of lose all that immersion. Plus, with it all being the one coloured glass, I think I might need to come back through and add in some of the light greys to show shadowing and shades coming through the glass itself. But I mean, I did try. Like you could see here, we've got our central point, and then we tried to curve it off. I would prefer if this piece here was in on that grass corner one. But we can't do that because this one and this one would update that vine and, well, we would lose it. So it has a little bit of a squarer base, but I've tried sticking out these corner bits here so you can see that the jar's a little bit round. We've gone ahead and put on a lid there. Now, I'm not too sure if it's too, like having the two of the block thickness there is too thick, or if it's just right. Now, looking at it from like an angle when we start walking away a bit, it does kind of take shape, and I do think that our saving grace might be to come back in with a bit of texturing for the light grey glass, just to get a bit of the shadows coming through. So, yeah, I mean, it might not be the spectacular jar that you guys were imagining I was going to build up, but we now have a jar protecting at least one of these sacred vines. And yes, I know I did just say sacred vine instead of glitched vine. Guys, I like playing with a bit of lore in this world, so yeah, now it's a sacred vine. Why not? Burrito, you've got to really stop getting so close to me. But anyway, while I was getting around building with that, I also started putting in some of the cherry blossom saplings so that they could start growing up and really sort of, help give us this area here a bit more life. Now, there is a known bug with cherry saplings, and that is that they won't grow if there are cherry leaves above them. I don't know why. I seriously don't know why. I thought that bug would have been fixed, but if we just go ahead here, grab some bone meal, this tree will not grow. Right, that was a full stack, and I'm going to stop it at half a stack worth of bone meal. Nothing. That tree just doesn't want to grow because of that, so we are going to end up with a few saplings just laying around because of this stupid bug. I don't know what it is. Now, Burrito wanted to say that I had faulty bone meal, didn't ya? But I don't. Ready? Watch over here. Boom. The first one, and it grows. For some reason, it's just these leaves. Now, if anyone knows why, please leave in the comments, because it's confusing me, and I'm hoping that it's not going to ruin building up this area. Okay, so now with that all out of the way about the glitchy leaves and, well, oh my god, it grew right over the top of me. Whew. Okay, that took me by surprise. Anyway, so with these spoken about how it's going to be going around here with the trees, and some areas might just still include the saplings because the tree just won't grow up through the leaves. Let's talk about what I want to do for decorating here, because at the moment, all I've done is place the saplings. And, from the oak and the birch area, we've done a lot more. And, well, for this area here, I'm not really too sure what to do. I've added in some bamboo, and I think that kind of looks alright. The green goes a little bit nicely with this pink leaf. Oop, a little bit of a hiccup there, sorry. With the pink leaves. But I also think it's going to very well much come down to these flowers. And as you can see, we can kind of path them directionally. So this one has 4. I just need some leaves. Let me get some of these. Oh, Burrito, you want to be in a flower shower, do you? Here, I'll get you some more bone meal. There you go. Really smell the flowers. How they smell. Okay, with Frodo jumping in there to give us our cue to start, let me explain what I want to get done in this area. Then I'm going to, go away, finish off this area here, and probably start getting this stuff done up in here too, so it's not the only odd one out. So, first off, what I want is some of these trees, okay, I want to sort of break this block here, maybe even one of these, and start putting in the full leaf block itself all around the base of the tree. Evil Panda, stop judging me, this will look great. I tested it out in a creative test walk, so it should look okay. So once we've wrapped our tree with leaves, I want to come around here and just go all 4 on that one. Now, these have a direction. So if we stand here, you can see it puts it on that one. If we stand here, it puts it on that one, which is the one I actually wanted, but if we stand here, it'll put it here, and then if we stand here, it'll put it here. So no, wait, it was here. There we go. So as you can see, we can use these leaf blocks to sort of kind of simulate that these leaves are being, well, these flowers, sorry. Thank you, both of you guys corrected me on that one. Jeez, these flowers look like they're, piled up around the base of the tree. It's a little bit denser, and you get a bit more of those gaps coming through. But I think that this is going to be the nice sort of, just a little bit of a touch here. So like, come around to this corner. Yep, we can add one in there. Let's just get these ones in around here. And then so it's also directional for when you place this one. So it'll go there. No. Come on. No, that's not how I want it. No. Damn it. There we go. So you can see how they'll also move in a certain direction depending on which way you're facing. For a lot of people, this probably isn't big news. However though, for me getting this area decorated, it's pretty big news. Now we don't need it just to be around the base of the trees. Frodo, why are you so close to that tree? Did you just jump into it? Anyway, we can also put them around here. So for example, where we were using our mossy carpets to get our hidden lighting in, now we can just spread around a few of these and it will just look like, just a cluster of flowers have gathered up here. That's what I wanted. Ooh. Eventually I'll work it. It's just like terracotta. You've just got to work out your angle and you'll be fine. Yeah, that's how I wanted that to look. God. So you can see, that it may not look the best just like that, but if we're at the pathway over here, see, it's just going to look like some flowers. And if we're running along, jumping down, you can see that it just looks like an imprint where maybe one of the pandas has just gone and walked over that flower patch and just pressed it in a little bit. You know how when they all compress underneath your foot? So that's what we've done there, and I think that's going to be the great way for us to include a bit of hidden lighting. Now, I could try to be fancy, but I don't think it'll work just because we're going with all of the blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I've really got to, process what I'm about to say before I say it and get so tongue-tied. I could be fancy and do, instead of having the pathing blocks for our pathway to walk through here, we could use the flowers. So as you can see here, we've been able to make a little bit of a track leading off over to this tree. My fear is though, that with having so many to decorate around the trees, it's just going to get lost. So I did think that this was a possibility to do for the pathing. I just thought it might get a little bit too lost with everything else that's going on. So, now that I've explained what's going to be going on in that cherry wood section over there, we've got our mystical jar. Yeah, it's growing on me, but I know it could be better, so let's just leave it at that. We've got the mystical jar up in the savannah area here, which now also needs to be decorated, but much like all the others, I'm going to go through, place all the saplings in, just like that stage we could see with the cherry wood section there. And then I'll go through and I'm thinking packed mud and just sort of other dirtier blocks to help give this a bit more of that savanna feel. But yeah, so leave that with me. I'll get that done, and then when we come back, we can show off these 2 new areas, and finally get to work on our bridge. So, back in a moment. Alright, so we are back here now at the Tree Nursery. It has been a few, real life days to be able to get this next part done up with the acacia biome and the cherrywood biome. Now, the longest part about this is the actual flowers that are around all the trees for the cherrywood section, because I did not expect there to be that many. I have brought along 4 more stacks of bone meal. That's right, to get 4 more stacks of flowers. I have already used up 7 stacks of bone meal, so there's going to be like 10 stacks of flowers in that area, just to make it look right. But anyway, you'll see what I mean by when we get a bit closer. It's not quite got enough flowers, but the rest of the area is looking pretty good. I gotta say, I like the acacia, how it's come up. So let's spin around the camera, and we can now see our new acacia biome in the Tree Nursery. We've got a little bit now. You can see that the jar holding the sacred vine looks a little bit more in line now, with all these trees around it to take the eye off exactly looking at dead on, and sort of allows the imagination to fill out these little bits of curvature around the edge of the bottle. Now, I hope YouTube hasn't compressed it too much that you can't quite make that out, but it looks quite in line with being a bit of a rounder bottle, and the having it as a too thick for the lid, that actually looks pretty good now with all the extra trees. I think it might have gotten washed away if it was only one once all the other stuff came in. So I'm really happy with how that's looking. And yes, we did go around and use in the packed mud blocks, and because we can't, for some reason, we can't get half slabs or stair varieties of this, we've got to make them into the actual the mud bricks, compact mud bricks, to be able to do any of that sort of stuff. So I had to use the half slabs of the granite, because it kind of looks a bit like the mud, and I mean, in some aspects, especially when you're looking at it from a distance, it really helps hold up that idea that this is a bit more of a dirtier track, a bit more mud sort of stuff, a bit dried out as a land, which the acacia biomes truly are, and I've tried to replicate that. But the reason why I wanted a half slab is, well, I didn't want to have to come up with the moss carpets to do my hidden lighting, so let's see, is this one it? Oh, it is beautiful, I got it. So we're using these half slabs as our hidden lighting for all the way around here. You can see that I did opt for a little bit of a path to cut up through and go around to the bottle from here. But we do have our traditional and set in pathway, which we originally had planned out. And honestly, I think this thing looks good. Once all the flowers came in, adding in a bit more of the bamboo too in these sections have really helped tie it all together. So I'm happy with this. We've managed to get some of these vines still floating, which is cool. I'm hoping that when we come back through and do a tree harvest and replant it all up, that it's not going to affect them. But at the moment, we've had Coco and Pops over here guarding the acacia, and they've honestly been quite enjoying it. So if we continue on this path, and I've got to be careful how I'm punching in that camera angle, you can see that this pathway here leads us to come up and around the bottle. So the jar, not the bottle, that holds the sacred vine, this one will be preserved because I kind of don't plan to attack any of these trees. It's more of, these ones are decorative, probably like these 3 up here or anything along this line will probably be our best bet for ones that we attack, but because of the way that these grew, and I was really pushing it with this one, the glass managed to preserve any update from inside of it. So this vine will always be here. These 2, they're going to be a little bit of a mystery. I'm not too sure if they're going to last. And of course, it's going to be these ones here in the middle, which I'm going to choose as my harvesting ones. It's just a nice, easy, convenient spot. Nothing around them gets interrupted when I come through and harvest, and I can get quite a few going here, especially if I use some bone meal. So yeah, I'm happy with this. But if we continue onto our path here, you can see I've moved my bed just so it was out of the way. But again, I probably might, just like we've done with the cherrywood aisles, turn it into a bit of a bench, so that way well, this being hardcore, I don't like getting caught out at night, so we're up at this section at night time. I probably might want to take a sleep, so we might be including these in a few other spots around the Tree Nursery. Alright, so once we're down here now, we are in the cherry wood section, which has a lot of saplings because I don't know why these stupid leaves won't let anything grow up above them, but hey, it's what we've got to deal with. Oh, Burrito, you really do like the flowers, don't you? I've noticed that Burrito quite enjoys hanging around them, just unfortunately I don't have enough of them. Like, believe it or not, there is 6 stacks of flowers spread out all through over here. You can see where we've tried to use for hidden lighting. I haven't been able to quite wrap around it yet with all the flowers. I have just been going haphazardly placing these around to try and fill out some of this space, but like seriously, these flowers, they take up a lot more space than I was ever expecting. I mean, they do tie the area together. I mean, it's really hard to make this place pop. I mean, it's just not a biome that I've spent too much time in to be able to actually design anything really well for, and this is the best bet that best guess that I could have for it, and it's just taking quite a bit of time. Now, down on the beach, much like our beach shore over there, I've just thrown some campfires out here as a bit of extra lighting, but also as some smoke signals to sort of indicate that if anyone was to try and come over here that, at first glance they might think, well, do we want to mess with them? Why have they got fires everywhere? But then again, there might be somebody stranded out in the ocean going, well, this actually looks like a friendly place. Maybe I can go and warm myself by the fire. So yes, Burrito, stop sniffing my butt, get away from there. But we are trying to have this as a bit more of a, well, to be honest, I've got to go back through and work on the beaches, but we're going to do that when we actually build up the storage house. Alright, so now that the cherry wood section and the acacia section has all been done up, all that's left really for what I want to get done in this episode is building up the bridge to the mangrove section, because that's going to be a whole different thing. We need more mud for that, so that's not going to get done today, but I do want the bridge to connect the two. And as you can see here, I've come up with a rough idea out of wool at first. So as you can see, this was kind of the angle that I wanted the bridge to be able to go up, because I still want boats to be able to pass underneath it. And I was planning on having, just a bit of a section here, maybe with some cobblestone or other stone blocks to act as like an anchor point, so this bridge is really firmly cemented into the ground. It's not going to be tipped over by any weird bizarre waves that may come up, or the wind. So that was the idea in here, and then I went along with it was random half slabs. This isn't the color I'm going to do it in. It's probably, as painfully as it's going to be, it's probably going to be the mangrove wood, that red nice beautiful wood that I want for the witch farm. Kind of the whole reason why we started this whole project maybe about a month and a half ago. Jeez, time is slipping away. But I just don't have any of that collected. I just wanted to get the shaping so that we could see how this bridge, when you walk on it, is going to step up. So as you can see, it's going to be like a 2, up 2, up 2, up 1 for this midpoint here, which will extend all the way over to there before dipping down again and crossing us over into our new section of the Tree Nursery. Now, it is getting a little bit dark, and I don't think that I'm going to be able to... Wrong camera angle there. So, talking about camera mistakes, I think what we might do is actually bring back our cameraman. I mean, he's just been sitting at home waiting for the call for a job, so yeah, let me just do a bit of a time lapse for this bridge being built up, and then we shall return. Well, so it turns out that the cameraman kind of has stick drag, but that doesn't really work very well with any law or anything in this world, so we're just going to say he didn't answer the phone. And yeah, so there is no time lapse coming. I am sorry for the promise of a time lapse and not being able to deliver. Yeah, as I said, yeah, he's just got stick drift, which is a bit annoying when you need an account just to stand there and look straight ahead. and all they want to do is stare at the sky, so it doesn't work too well. But we do have our new bridge all nice and finished, as you can see it peeking through the trees here. Now, it is absolutely nothing flash, nothing fancy, but it definitely fits within the build of this area, the Tree Nursery. Now, it has that whole aesthetic setting, I think that's the right wording, that these are all from tools and equipment that he or she, whoever it is that's actually living in this area, they would have just built it up just like with all of our walls and our fences. That was the whole idea of it, and I think we've achieved that. So as you can see, it's just boulders that they've moved around, and then they've having it just as the straight blocks up there looked boring, so what I decided to do is use some of the upside down stairs just to give it a bit more of a rounder edge. And if we take a little bit look here, you can see that it just, I don't know, it nicely gives it that little bit of a lip that, yeah, burrito, I think it just looks really cool. Now, we did have so many leftover campfires from the dock where I thought we could use that, but it turns out we couldn't. So just so I didn't feel so bad for having so many left over, I've used them on the corners here as a little bit of extra lighting, but also just the noise of the campfires as you walk around. Doesn't it sound really cool, burrito? Okay, he's not interested, obviously, but as you can see, we've got just our nice bridge. I've come along, replaced all the wool with this, no, it's not cherry, it's mangrove wood, which is annoying to collect on large quantities. I'm just so lucky I already had a little bit of a back pile of it before we started this to be able to get this section done, because as you can see, we have the fences here already on the bridge. In the actual area, I haven't started at all, and it's going to look... yeah, it looks quite plain and a bit of a mess, but it's going to come along really nicely. Coco's even come down here to, see it with the work we get done on the next episode, and yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to agree. Ending a clip, yeah, burrito, I'm saying it now on, and yeah, is probably not the best way to end a clip. Even Bluey's now having a go at me for that, so I do apologise. That was a little bit rushed. I just kind of... well, you know me, with words, I kind of just have a bit of a brain fart and everything sort of jumbles together. But if we're standing at this little distance here, and as we get onto dusk, as the sun starts to set, you can see that it's not a fancy bridge, but it sure as hell ties that area together. And I can see once we get the mangrove all into section, just like we have with the other parts, and this jungle part here, this little bridge is going to just... be that nice little bit of an eye catch that's going to draw you over to this area when you're in the Tree Nursery and make you want to explore it. Much like our bottle containing the glitched vine, the sacred vine, whatever we're going to call it in the end. They're just objects in this area that's really going to help draw the eye in and just, make it a little bit more interesting to look at and want to observe this area. Okay, so now with the bridge finished up and, everything that I wanted to get done in this episode has now been completed. Now, I wanted to get this one out about 2 or 3 days ago, but you may be able to hear it in my voice. I did get a little bit of a case of the sniffles, and, when you're relying on actually talking to create a video, it does make it a little bit hard. So I do apologize for the little bit of a late upcoming with this episode, but I really do hope you have enjoyed it. I'm just absolutely thrilled with how this area is looking. Yes, okay, it's going to start raining on us and prove that this isn't a savanna, because we can't get rain in savannas normally. But I really do like how this area's turned out. I'm a little bit upset with how many more flowers we need. Like, it's over 10 stacks of flowers, and it still does not look like it's enough. But hey, we're going to slowly work through it as we continue to finish off the Tree Nursery. But for now, well, that is it for this episode, and, well, I think I better get it out of the rain, so I'm going to leave it here. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time,